So one of the tweets I really liked earlier in my healing journey is, I think, by the username Mage, the Courageous, and Mage talks about how to relax a freeze response, you have to have a life worth unfreezing into. And I just think that's beautiful. Um, I think it obviously is applicable to all sorts of trauma responses: freeze, flight, fawn, um, you know, what is the last one? Flight? Yeah. So it's not enough. I think one of the issues that, I wouldn't say issues, but one of the friction points that I had on my trauma healing journey is that this lack of compassion that I held for myself. It's not just enough to know that, you know, you have a lot of trauma or you're living in unhealthy patterns. Does your life actually, hold allow yourself to hold space for it? Have you, a lot of us always talk about how the work is internal and everything. And I do think that's true, do not get me wrong. But I just do think that we really need to acknowledge that for trauma survivors, that the external world does matter. It does matter a lot. I think it's kind of, it can be a little bit of a chicken and egg problem. Does the inner work come first, or does changing the environment come first? Because none of the things are enough in themselves. But at the same time, I do feel that changing the environment matters a lot. Um, if someone's stuck in a toxic situation or an abusive situation, um, telling them to just really start looking into self-love and heal their stuff and blah blah blah, I think can be quite unhelpful when the priority should be to get them to safety. The priority should be to get them to a life that they could unfreeze into, a life that they could rest in, a life that they can actually handle. I mean, trauma is a lot of sensitive material. If you don't feel secure otherwise in your life, it's just not going to happen, right? You're still going to be too caught up in survival to do that. So if you are stuck in a toxic or an abusive or any that sort of a situation that really gets your nervous system in this chronic state of dysregulation, you really need to first focus on external parts as well. You really need to look, how do you physically exit the situation? How do you slowly build a life? And I understand that it's so hard because just the nature of trauma itself is that it makes building a new life and building security for yourself just so difficult, you know. Building a life is hard in itself, but if you have these pain points because of trauma, it becomes almost impossible, and you're just so brave if you're going towards that. But yeah, if you are, healing on this journey, and you are not seeing a lot of progress, and you still are beating yourself up about how, well, why am I not healed yet, well, why am I not relaxed yet, and all of these things, I really need you to take a step back, and I really need you to be self-compassionate. Is your life safe enough right now? Is it worth unfreezing into? Is there a space there? So don't beat yourself up. Focus on getting the life that could hold space for such a healing to occur. And yeah, I wish you the well. I wish you the best, yeah.